In TC2, there are a lot of weapons that give different buffs and effects upon getting a kill with them, whether it be more max health and speed, more ammo, faster charge rate, and especially health on kill. Any weapon that gives health on kill has downsides to balance out that one upside, such as overheal decaying faster like the first responder, a slower swing and holster speed like the mending mallet, or starting off with less health like the conniver's kunai, which can be ignored once you get a good poke on someone, as you now have more health than a trooper. But there's one weapon with a health on kill that I feel needs some tweaking. Hi, I'm CC, and welcome to Typical Opinions. How this works is basically I talk about a particular weapon in TC2 and how I personally feel about it, whether it be good or bad, as well as possible adjustments to make the weapon more balanced with buffs, nerfs, or new stats entirely. I figured I'd start off with the katana since it's probably the weapon that I have the most positive and negative feelings for, and also... yeah, you get the idea. Keep in mind these are my opinions and ideas. It's perfectly fine to agree or disagree with something I say. That's how an opinion works. Try telling that to Twitter. Anyways, let's not waste any more time and take a look at the katana. The stats of the katana are basically a port of its TF2 counterpart, the half Zatoichi. It's only used by two classes, those being Trooper and Annihilator. It has increased range, which comes with a slower deploy and holster speed, 50% of base health on kill, which can overheal, and the ability to one-shot anyone else who also has a katana out, which is honestly kinda funny. In TF2, the only real downside is the Honorbound effect, which makes you take 50 damage if you holster it without killing someone after being fully deployed. In TC2, this stat still exists, but the damage dealt to you is reduced by half. There's also an extra added stat of a 25% damage vulnerability, which increases how much damage you take from all sources, which effectively makes your base health 160 as a trooper or Annie with the squire boots and 140 without them. At first glance this may seem to be alright and balanced, especially from the perspective of someone who primarily plays TF2 over this. But TC2 is much easier in terms of, well, everything, especially with melees and TC2's hit detection. Don't understand what I mean? Picture this. Say that you and an enemy are in close quarters and are about to melee each other. If both of your pings are stable with little to low latency, then the hits will register and do damage as intended. But if one player's ping is super high, then it will take longer for the hit to register. That extra time can cause them to end up dying before the damage fully goes through. And if their ping is too high, then it won't even go through at all, and it'll say in the console that your ping was too high when registering the hit. When moving around, mainly away from the attacker, it may seem like the hitbox is extended a bit because you're still taking damage even if you know you're out of its range. That's because in Roblox there's a slight delay in which the movement of someone's player is shown on everyone else's screen. And because of this, they see you being closer to them than where you actually are, which is why you still get hit. Because of this, it makes it much easier for someone using the katana to secure a kill. On top of that, the katana is one of those weapons that falls in the category of fun to play, annoying to fight. Don't get me wrong, I love playstyles that are fun but incredibly dumb, such as Caber Knight. But outside of charging in, there isn't much a Caber Knight can do, especially if either the charge or caber isn't ready. There are other dumb but fun playstyles that I've seen people use, such as Fish Flanker, holy mackerel only, but using the boost from the babyface's blaster and the extra jump height from the super sneakers for extra mobility. Fat Flanker, which is the equivalent of Fat Scout, which is just shotgun only as brute. Any bird, flying around with a tie turn and parabomber either via trimping or by blast jumping with weapons such as the Iron Force and Loose Cannon. There's even different knights for some classes that I've seen, most notably Marksman with a Turtle Rock and Mischievous Machete. However, any knight, whether it be full or hybrid, is probably the most well-known playstyle, and because of how effective it can be, giving it the katana just makes it even more tedious to deal with. Thus the name of these kind of anti-knights, Katana-Knights. The most common Katana-Knights have the Tide Turner as their shield because of the mobility it provides with freely being able to turn while charging, which makes it ideal to chase down light classes or distracted players and get free health off of it. To add on, they get 50% of their charge back on kill, 25% from both the boots and the shield, so it won't be long until they start charging again. Trying to kill a Katana Knight that is constantly getting kills off of people, either feeding it by not paying attention, or trying to melee it, mainly its light classes, which dies in 2 hits, is infuriating when you know how to prevent him from getting close to you as much as possible. In other words, you're the only one with situational awareness. The Katana Knight themselves, on the other hand, are probably having the time of their lives, getting free health from every kill they get and still making it out alive. Even without the boots, it's still really easy to chase down and finish off anyone with a doctor's health or less with 1 grenade and 1 swing.
But CC,
You may ask,
doesn't the Tide Turner's charge duration decrease if they take damage?
yes, it does, but good luck trying to stop it in time before it's right in your face because of lag. Any Annie that does this is automatically 10 times more annoying to deal with, to say the least. Now, I will admit I have done this before a few times, so I'm not really any better. But nowadays, if I'm gonna do Katana Knight, I use the Galway Greaves and the Raging Bull. I don't strike often, but when I do, I hit hard, and I can't be pushed around easily. All of that was just about Annihilators using the Katana. When we look at Troopers using it, there isn't really much to talk about. Troopers don't get as many benefits out of the Katana as Annies do due to their lack of options for mobility. On foot. Trooper is the second slowest class in the game, only being faster than a Brute. The only way for Trooper to be faster on foot while still using the Katana is with the Conqueror, as it provides a speed boost when the Rage is activated, but only for 8 seconds. If done right, you can pull off some dumb stuff with the Katana and speed, but it's quite rare. If you're gonna do something like this, I recommend primaries that can help charge the Rage meter faster, such as the Maybrick, Direct Hit, or even Stock. If you really want to lean into the melee only style of it, then you can use stuff like the Cow Mangler or Rocket Jumper. If the Conqueror is not to your liking, then try the Deathblow for shotguns, since it can help deal with a slower deploy and holster speed, but just keep in mind when you bring it out because it takes less time for the Honorbound effect to trigger. Outside of that, it can also be used like the Mending Mallet as a finisher, if they're close enough, or just to counter someone else on the other team using the Katana, which is the most common reason for it. Obviously, that's kind of unfair, considering the potential that both classes have, so it could use some tweaks. The first thing that comes to mind is a reduction to damage or swing speed. 10 to 15% works for both. Alternatively, to balance out the scale, perhaps a stat that reduces the amount of healing received when wearing boots, kind of like how the Spartan Savior worked with the charge from ammo packs. Another thing could be an extra addition to the Honorbound effect, when it's the only thing you can use, specifically for Katana Knights, since they don't have to worry about holstering it. The damage vulnerability can stay to compensate for the fact that melee hits land when they shouldn't when compared to TF2, where it's kind of the opposite. Anything to help balance the scale of usefulness between the two classes is good in my book. But with that, that's everything I have to say about the Katana. This is my first time actually speaking to you all for a video, so I'm sorry if I sound a little nervous. If you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments below, and I might make a little series out of it. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.